Tiffany, and welcome to my channel Foxey Sunrise. Today's reading is going to be about what's transforming in your life. Pick as many groups as you'd like. All the timestamps will be down below in the description box. Yeah, okay. So group 1 is Eagle. Group 2 is Dragonfly, number 30. And group 3 is number 10, Earth. Okay, I'll see you at your group. Hey, group 1, if you chose the Eagle, this is your reading. Number 20, the Eagle, vision, freedom, authority, and inspiration. So this is going to be about what's transforming in your life right now. We have Ace of Swords, 3 of Cups, and 4 of Pentacles in reverse. So I got strong Aries energy here. I'm also getting Gemini energy. So definitely check out the link down below if you're interested in astrology. The time of birth gives you a more accurate and specific analysis. But I'm going to be using the word energy because it may not be your sun sign. Or it may just be a general archetype that's moving through your life. So look into Aries and Gemini to see if you're feeling more like those signs. But I'm seeing a renewal and a rebirth of your mindset. Also a rebirth in ideas, like you have a new idea or a refresh in your focus and vision. And this may be due to a release of some rigidity around your values, around a way of thinking, around resources. And there might be some inspiration coming from a group of people, a collaboration, or a recent event or celebration. Maybe you launched this new idea and it also combined with an event that happened. So for example, for me, I had a renewal and vision surrounding turning a hobby into a lifestyle, and this happened because I was invited to go express this endeavor at an event recently. And I also had a friend come into town at that time, so just as a reference or and as an example, this could be sort of similar to something that happened to you. Maybe you had your debut, or you came out with a project that shared some of these new ideas that you had, or maybe you came to this conclusion in a community environment, and it kind of loosened up some of the rigidness that you may have had surrounding maybe your idea around how to earn money, your idea around how to build a business, your idea around earning resources, or your idea around gaining resources or knowledge in some sort of way, because I think knowledge could be a type of resource as well. So this is rejuvenating, it's exciting, and I also want to mention that it's new, so it's something that needs to kind of be tapped into on a regular, consistent basis, so you can build that foundation to grow this new thought, new idea, new mindset. But it's really exciting, but don't burn out. I think this is really good. This is really good energy to build on and bring momentum towards. We have Trick, Purity, and creation. Okay, so I'm getting strong like manifestation energy, strong like maybe vision board, scripting, or just reprioritizing what your goals are. Again, I feel like there's a really good influence around you. I keep being drawn to this Three of Cups. Like you found a more uplifting community, even if it's just an online community. I want to say that counts too if you're not in person, but just finding a group of like-minded individuals that really inspires you. Inspiration is a really strong keyword here. Manifestation is a strong keyword here, and self-concept or mindset. So really nailing down the types of thoughts that you need to have to fully cultivate this vision and plant the right seeds to allow this vision to blossom healthfully. And trick really sticks out as far as really paying attention to when you're being dragged back into old ways of thinking, old values or limiting beliefs, and the purity and the creation comes to mind, because I feel that, and it's definitely emphasized with this Ace of Swords, that there's a need to remain pure in thought, pure in mind, because wow, yeah, so there's the eyes are covered here. I don't know when the snow moon is. I don't know if that time is relevant for you, but maybe look into when the snow moon happens. And then we have beaver moon creation. So these seem to be like, maybe they're super moons, or they're around the solstices, I don't know, but they seem like important. I kind of want to look it up. Let me see. But I feel that when you have a mind that is purified through, again, I'm bringing up these more manifestation techniques, but there may be other ways to do this, so I don't want to be too cliche, but affirmations, meditation, journaling, to keep your mind aware so that you can approach this very fertile, creative mindset that you're calling in or awakening, keeping it fresh, keeping it childlike, so that you can continue to have this consistent stream of ideas coming in. Oh, it just feels so potent, like feels like ovulation time for a female. Whenever they're like most fertile, they're feeling vibrant. Maybe that's not everybody during ovulation, but usually during ovulation, it's a perfect time to plant a seed. In a metaphorical sense, it's a perfect time to maybe do things. We don't have as much energy whenever we're shedding. We're actually in a period time, but this feels like, and I got Aries energy originally, so it feels like springtime, like ideas are cropping. There's a lot of just activity going on, excitement. There you get higher energy as well too, because there's two full moons here as well being depicted in this picture. So let me see when the snow moon is. When is the snow? Okay, a snow moon is the name for the full moon in February, alluding to February being the snowiest month of the year in the US. So February, so it's a peak. There's a peaking here, or a heightened amount of energy, kind of gaining momentum. So take advantage of this time if you are feeling this vibrancy or vitality. Let's see. And then when is the beaver? The beaver moon occurs every year during the month of November. So it's usually a full moon, it looks like. There's a lot of mentionings of lunar eclipse. But yeah, so November and February. So maybe some of you have birthdays around that time. February, November, maybe. They're both colder. So November's nearing winter, and then February's the peak of winter. So I'm also thinking of hibernation. So it might be either you're resting to get to this peak of energy, resting to gain a lot of energy, or you're in hibernation, cultivating this energy, or building some kind of project, or and maybe you're even in solitude energetically. You might be in a winter time, but you're feeling full of energy. So maybe you're in solitude. I'm getting strong Pisces energy here. Maybe this group gains energy from being alone, or working in an individualized setting, maybe being your own boss. I'm hearing that this group doesn't like to be micromanaged in any sort of way. So maybe you work in an environment where you can kind of call the shots. So I feel that service industry is a little bit like that, because you're mostly autonomous, where you have like your section, your tables, you're making your money. Or maybe, I don't know, you're working mostly by yourself and making decisions, or you're sort of autonomous. You work better in those situations, or in solitude, or in your own like kind of cubicle sort of setting where you're not bothered as much. So I'm feeling either a gestation period where you're building a lot of energy and you're focusing on this mindset, or you're reaching like a climbing of energy or building of energy. So it's either externalized or internalized. That's the gist of what I'm saying ultimately. Devotion and Mars in reverse. Okay, interesting. The Mars in reverse gives me a sign that for most of you it's more internalized energy that you're building, and you're in sort of a winter mode where you're maybe having, I'm hearing like a dark night of the soul, or you're having these epiphanies within solitude and shedding a lot, and you're having this renewal of energy. I'm really feeling that a lot of you are finding like-minded people online. If you are spending more time in solitude, or you're discovering more like-minded groups in your environment as you're having this shift of mindset. But vision. I feel like a lot of this is mental. And a lot of these beliefs are having to be broken down away from others, or at a distance from others, so you can learn your instinctual voice, understand how it sounds, the difference between the monkey mind and the anxious mind, and the voice that's trying to lead you and clarify your vision, as well as purify your mind, and lead you towards a more pure form of creation. The devotion, Krishna. Trust your spiritual guidance. Your commitment has been recognized. You are loved unconditionally. Again, I'm feeling more that this devotion is happening around your internal space and internal environment, and trust your spiritual guidance. I want to touch back on what I said a few moments ago about solitude and being able to hear and see and visualize your vision more clearly. So I'm really resonating with this group. I feel like I'm seeing somebody who is touching back on their goals constantly, maybe building a vision board or using visualization in some way, just hardening and crystallizing in the mind what you want to materialize. So I feel like there's a lot of mental activity, a lot of crown chakra activity, a lot of third eye activity. So a lot of heavy emphasis on visualization, purifying your mind in that way, and refreshing and revitalizing and renewal of the mind through information, new information, reading, podcasts. So a lot of mental activity. I got Gemini energy earlier. I also feel heavily Aquarius energy, Virgo energy, especially because there's emphasis on hermitude for a lot of you, or being less extroverted if you're still out in the public, being less extroverted. I'm also getting Scorpio energy too, because I feel that there's a tingeness of being quiet about what you're building. Like there's a building that's happening behind the scenes, which is introverted Mars energy. Scorpio's introverted Mars energy. It's still active, but it's quietly active, it's subtly active, it's subconsciously active too. So there could be an engagement, a more conscious engagement with the subconscious mind. So again, this is through sort of self, not hypnosis, what is it called? It's not auto-suggestion, I think that's what it's called, or sleeping with certain affirmation tracks on. I don't know, there's a lot of like behind the scenes workings, a lot of mind, focusing on the mind and thoughts, and the imagination is strong here too, and being more aware of the mind games and the mind tricks and the things that hook us back and drags us, pulls us back to like old ways of thinking. But that's awesome. That's really powerful. I mean, the eagle is an apex predator, so it's like one of the tops of the food chain. So this feels like definitely an elevation and an ascension of perception, of vision, of authority, of empowerment. So this is a very strong group. I just want to say that. And you're number one. So that's really interesting too. An interesting alignment. So group one, that is your reading. I hope I was saying group one the whole time. Thank you for visiting and stopping by. Let me know what you think down below, and come back and see me. What's up, group two? The Dragonfly. The Dragonfly. It's in reverse, but it reads magic, spontaneity, immediacy, and change. So I feel like with this group, it's going to be more about what needs to change, or a suggestion, maybe not needs, because you can do what you want, a suggestion of what would be a positive change for you. So, Ten of Cups and Page of Swords. We also have Patience. Okay. Interesting. I want to pull some more tarot. The first thing that I heard was like rushing the healing process. Rushing into the growth process. In an underdeveloped mindset, or premature, like it feels like someone who has sort of an expectation of things and you haven't received them yet. So there's an impatience with that. You're like, okay, why hasn't this happened? Why hasn't this happened yet? But there's something with the mind that needs to be altered. Like there might still be some negativity or some doubts. A wavering, if you will, like a double-mindedness. So there's like an expectation of how things should be, and yet and that's causing some anxiety and impatience, and yet there's still like work that needs to be done. Eight of Swords, okay. There's a need to transition away from certain thoughts and mindsets and the way that you see yourself, the way that you, and ultimately that affects the way that you see the world. Maybe this has to do with some kind of relationship that failed in the past. The Star. And then Queen of Pentacles. So this could have to do with instability, self-worth, doubts, and this group is very unique and unorthodox, I will say. Very strong imagination, and maybe a little bit of a romantic. And by that I just mean like you daydream a lot because you have such a strong imagination. You have these expectations of how things are, and maybe you think that they should be faster or they should be coming a lot sooner than they are, but there's a need to shift perspectives and to sit a little bit with yourself more. There's a need to share more, to speak up more, and healing. There's still a little bit of healing that needs to be done. It's almost, I'm getting this image of like if the dragonfly or the butterfly hatched too soon, or like a premature baby. Like there's still some nourishment that needs to be had, a little bit of growth. There's still more that can be done before you can really receive whatever you're trying to receive. So maybe a stubbornness in thinking with Aquarius here. Hanging on to certain identities and beliefs. Maybe being overly logical in some ways. There's swords, a lot of air here. So with magic, spontaneity, immediacy, and change here, I feel that there's too much reliance on the left brain. And maybe that's where a lot of the doubt is coming from too. Like for you, you may need proof or facts. You're still relying on proof or facts, or maybe the more traditional sense of evidence. And it's hard to really believe that there's any other way besides what you have seen and what you've experienced in the past, that things can't change. Things will be and always will be the way that you've experienced them. And that limits us. That limits us in a lot of ways, especially if there is a part of us that feels called to something different and something new, and yet we're still wavering on the other side of the fence that says, oh, well, how can things change? Because I've always experienced a relationship this way. I've always seen relationships fail. I don't believe in love, or something along those lines. What is emotional fulfillment in a partnership? I've never seen that before. Just as an example, especially because of the imagery of Ten of Cups. Yeah, there's a real need to be more receptive to a new way of thinking, to a more relaxed, maybe not relaxed, but to open yourself up to being curious like a child, to asking more questions, and questions that might go against your normal way of thinking, so that you can begin to challenge yourself into thinking a different way. So instead of, what's a good example? Instead of thinking, oh, well, people don't like me. Why do I think that people don't like me? Why is that? Is that really true? I don't know if that's the best example. It's not the one I was looking for, but I think it'll work for now. Yeah, seeing the way that you bind yourself and how you can also free yourself. I feel like this group, especially because dragonflies are pretty fast, a fast type of creature. I feel like, and again, the emphasis on the air, we have a lot of swords here. I feel like there's like a, maybe like wound up, a way that you wound your energy up, or like a sense of like a bundle of nerves, because there's such a hard leaning on the mind and the thoughts, and also believing your own thoughts too much, and maybe inquiring why you have such an impulse reaction to just believe whatever you're thinking or whatever you're imagining. So I'm hearing your imagination can run away with you, and there's an imbalance in the mind in the use of the imagination, because the imagination can be a beautiful thing, or it could be a very, very claustrophobic type of experience, and the mind has an effect on the body. So maybe this group could do well with yoga or some kind of embodiment practice, so exercise to kind of or walks in nature can really do well with unwinding and unraveling the webs of the mind. I'm getting strong Virgo energy. Strong Virgo energy, very mercurial energy, Gemini energy as well. Yeah, I think that's it. I wanted to say Aries, but not as prominent. I do have a link in my description box if you want to dive into your birth chart, and the time of birth definitely reveals a lot more specificity, wisdom. Aquarius, that's funny. So we have two signs that point out Aquarius. So again, active imagination, very unique way of thinking, brilliant mind. So we have wisdom, number 22, waning, and the Shekinah, sacred self. Unleash your spirit, express your gifts, dance to the sacred rhythm of life. I think if this group is leaning more towards the left brain, I think it would be really fun to explore any texts or books or information that you may be curious about, that might be different from your usual way of thinking. So especially if you're just randomly being drawn to it or curious about it, tap into that mind, and it will probably be the thoughts that you resist that will lead you to some more wisdom. So especially with Aquarian energy, and I'm very familiar with this energy, it's said to be a rebellious type of energy, and it can lean into a shadowy expression of being a rebel without a cause. And so that can appear as somebody who may have been bogged down by a lot of beliefs and ideas, and a way of rebelling against that, and being empowered, but in a lower expression, could be rebelling against positive things as well, and rebelling for the sake of rebelling because you just really need that expression. You're trying to take back your expression again. So this could be rebelling against your own wisdom, against your own higher thinking and instincts and intuition. So I just want to recommend looking at that as well, if that is anything that resonates with you, because it's good to be rebellious. It's a vibrant, amazing, I would say a little bit fiery, cheeky energy, but it needs to be reined in sometimes. And then with Aquarius too, it's a fixed energy, so and it's a fixed air energy. So again, there's an emphasis of being rigid with thoughts and thinking, maybe hanging on to memories or beliefs or experiences or ideas too closely to the heart, too closely to the chest. There's a need to kind of process those things, definitely emotionally, and allow yourself to express those experiences too. So maybe instead of like sort of going in a merry-go-round in your mind about these things, write them down, talk about them. I think talking is especially good, especially if you have the Aquarius moon placement or Aquarius Mercury. It's really good to express yourself, or even Aquarius in the third house. The third house, or the moon, or Aquarius in the third house, or moon in the 11th house or third house. It's really good to cycle through some of these ideas, maybe with another person, or through writing, or through a monologue, maybe talking to yourself about things, or journaling and reading things back to yourself. But movement is going to help a lot with any feelings of stagnancy, and the impatience could come from a mental stagnancy. You feel like things aren't changing around you. It could be because of your perception not changing and your thoughts haven't changed yet, and that's a big thing as far as feeling any sort of movement. So I feel like moving the body especially could cause a triggering result, could cause could create a side effect of movement and thinking as well. So as you move, maybe taking walks, conscious walks, I definitely suggest with your own thoughts, or with some kind of like instrumental music, because I feel like air energy needs some sort of stimulation to be able to access different parts of the mind and thinking. So I would say stray away from podcasts or any content where somebody else is speaking, but definitely going on walks or working out or moving the body with your favorite instrumentals on, or music, even if lyrics don't distract you too much. Unleash your spirit, express gifts, dance to the sacred rhythm of life. There's something very important about your sense of expression, and by you releasing yourself from some of these confinements that you may have placed yourself in, you'll be able to more clearly express yourself and your ideas and your thoughts, as well as understanding how you can more effortlessly bring your imagination into real life. And I think movement will also assist you in any anxiety that you may be having too and experiencing in the body. I think the impatience somehow bleeds into the feelings of anxiety. So I think they go hand in hand. So there's just a need to move around a little bit, to move around your thoughts, examine them, and to move your body and examine that and what happens to your body when you continue doing what you're doing and when you try something different. How does your body respond? So really absorbing the wisdom of your surroundings, the wisdom of what's happening when you're changing up your routine. And the wisdom of just being in your present moment and not stuck in your mind so much. So, group 2, that is your reading. That's really cool. I feel like I had a lot to say, but I wanted to kind of stop at a certain point. Thank you so much for visiting. Let me know what came up for you in the description, not the description box, in the comment section down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you again soon. Alright, group 3, Earth. This is your reading, and just what is transforming or would do you some good if it was transformed, because that's what I noticed with group 2. So just transformation vibes in general. We have Earth, physical body, grounding, nurture, and cultivate. Awesome. Let's see. I'm feeling heavily that this group needs to change up their routine. Moon in reverse, the Star, and Page of Pentacles. Okay, so this group would do very well with some sort of routine or something that is grounding for them to kind of alleviate some of these emotional responses or intensities or triggers. I think it'll also help you observe your emotions a lot better. There's a need to understand the emotions and where they come from, and maybe there's some, I don't know, this haunted card is really creeping me out a little bit. I don't know if there's something that happened in your past that's causing you to respond the way that you do, or there may be some like tucked away emotions that don't really come out unless, I don't know, I'm thinking like drinking or you're smoking or you're like really, really relaxed. But it feels like there's a little bit of a suppression of the emotions. And I really think that when the emotions are suppressed, you're also disconnected from your body. And this group feels more attached to their imaginal space and their thoughts and ideas than they are to their body. So I'm getting strong Pisces, Aquarius energy. here. I have a link to a birth chart calculator if you're interested in looking into that. But I just, not really saying your sun sign, but just like the vibe that I'm getting. Yeah, it feels like this group needs to be brought back into their body. They're being called back into their body. I feel like this group is very flighty, maybe moves around a lot, a little chaotic. There's a need to understand what it feels like when you have somewhat of a, even if it's a loose routine. I feel like this group may be aware of that, and also aware of reinvesting back into themselves through taking care of their body more, paying more attention to sleep, their sleep schedule, their dreams. I'm getting a real strong emphasis on foods that you eat, your sleep schedule. Maybe this group is a little bit of a nocturnal, insomniac type of group, so maybe you have trouble sleeping. Feels like there's a lot of mind activity, a lot of mental activity. Yeah, there's an emphasis on the routine, like changing and transforming your your routine, because it's not helping your emotional body. It's not helping you emotionally, and it's not helping you physically without this routine. Soul, Sun, Sagittarius. Yeah, this is a lot of general, just like activity, a lot of busyness, a lot of movement, a lot of moving around. Maybe you're more of a transient person. Yeah, again, this fire energy just feels very, it feels very potent. There's a need to cultivate some kind of roots so that you at least have, it's almost like the idea of like having a place to come home to. Yeah, it's just really, really for sure like a routine, and honing in and channeling this fiery energy, or this channeling this maybe sporadic energy into a general goal or focus. I want to recommend nature walks to this group as well. That might be a good start if you're just somebody who loves to move around, release. That's so interesting. I don't know what's... With the Sagittarius energy, it almost feels like an avoidance of slowing down or having a routine. Or having a routine feels like you're slowing down in some sort of way. Or being in your body and grounding feels... I'm hearing it feels like death, or it just feels like... I don't know if boring is the word, or it's just something, there's a lot of resistance to slowing down, and the energy of contemplation, the energy of understanding what you're feeling. There's something like unattractive. There's something that's like a turn off about that. So we have Lady Portia, Divine Order, do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. Yeah, there's a strong resistance with this group. It's just kind of like, it feels a little all over the place. Ku to me, Cloak of Wisdom, you already know the answer. You seek, trust what you know. I really feel like this group knows what they need to do, but they're just not ready to do it yet. I don't know if it's just there's something emotionally that you don't want to really face right now. So this is like one of the steps of processing it. Yeah, it just feels like there's just a lot of resistance. There's a real need for slowing down, spending some time away from others. There's something that needs your attention to be looked at emotionally, and maybe it has to do with your childhood. I don't know. I don't know, that card. This card is just, there's something really intense about it. It's hardly ever light when I see this card. So that's why I'm on the fence about telling you or being authoritative about what you need to do, because maybe there's a real reason, like it might be a little heavy to slow down right now and face that, but let me pull a few more cards. It's almost like I can't get anything else out except you need a routine, you need to eat better, like you need to sleep a little bit more, you need to rest. There's a need for rest and for allowing. And I feel like release and allowing are pretty similar here. Do what you feel is right and important. That's just for group 3. That's just for group 3 about what's transforming. Queen of Wands. Group 3, what's transforming? There's a lot of like fiery energy here. A lot of just activity and movement. Group 3, group 3. That's just for group 3. Group 3. There's also like this toxic positivity that I'm getting from the Sagittarius card, like no bad vibes, not taking anything seriously, like I'm fine, like that didn't happen, like it's good, I'm over it kind of energy. And just moving very quickly and prematurely through things. There's also like a very strong will too. I mean, this is very like, I just feel a lot of high intelligence. Like this group is very aware. Like I feel this group is very aware of what needs to change. It's just like, are you going to wait till you're burnt out, or are you going to do it before then? Yeah, nothing else is coming out really. Yeah, this group is very like free-spirited, very strong-willed, maybe a little stubborn. But I feel that this group is also a little bit detached or unaware of their emotions at times because they're not grounded, because they're moving too fast, or their attention is on the wrong thing, their focus is on the wrong thing. Yeah, just balance, sleep, rest, movement may be beneficial to kind of hone in on that like excess energy. And understanding your emotions more by connecting with the body again, so that you can release some of these things. And you don't always need to know what needs to be released, but it's good to just have that feeling, that purging session. There may be a battle with the ego versus the intuition as well. So still following like the fleeting voice versus the everlasting voice. I don't know, that was very poetic. Resisting what is best, or maybe it's best but it's not really what you want to do. But it's more nourishing for you than what you think you would want. So following the voice of what you think you want versus the voice of what you really need. And leaning more on the masculine energy than the feminine, quiet, contemplative energy. I think creativity would be helpful too, to express some of these emotions. It's an interesting energy. It feels a little, I can feel the detachment, really. It's almost like somebody like you think you know, but you really don't know them. And no one really knows them because you don't really get a chance to get to know them. It's like that kind of vibe, like a superficial kind of relationship with the person. Like, oh, I see you. Yeah, I see you all the time at this bar, and I know you, but you don't really know them. That's kind of the energy that I'm getting from this group, like very protective of their emotions. I'm getting kind of a tinge of a Scorpio moon or a Capricorn moon. Okay, group 3, that is your reading. Let me know what you think down below. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you again soon.